My son gave his father-in-law a yacht and handed me a $5 lottery ticket. He tried to make me small in front of his family. But life has a funny way of letting humility cash the biggest check. Before we continue, please like this video and subscribe to the channel to help us create more videos like this. Done that? Great! Back to the story. The party was loud. That's the first thing I remember. The sound. A bright, brittle, manufactured loudness. My son Mark's backyard was full of people I didn't know. Men in expensive-looking linen shirts with gleaming watches. Women with bright, hard laughter, and glasses of champagne that clinked with a heavy, expensive sound. Mark had married into money. A lot of money. And this Father's Day barbecue was his show. I'm Arthur. I'm 68 years old. I was sitting in a white plastic patio chair, the cheap kind that sticks to your back. The sun was hot, and I could feel a bead of sweat running down my spine inside my good but old polo shirt. The air smelled thick, not like a normal barbecue, but like hickory smoked wood chips and some sweet, tangy sauce that was probably imported. My daughter Sarah was next to me. She kept glancing at me, then at her phone, then at her brother. She was nervous. We both knew why. A few weeks earlier, I had finally done it. I'd paid off Sarah's student debt, $85,000, the last promise I'd made to Alara before she passed. It had taken me 5 years of part-time consulting, 5 years of scrimping after her medical bills had taken everything else. I'd told Sarah. I hadn't told Mark. I guess I knew, somewhere deep down, how he would take it. He found out anyway. Just then, Mark walked by. He was carrying 2 more of those heavy champagne glasses, laughing at something his father-in-law, Robert, had said. He walked right past my chair, so close that his elbow nearly hit my shoulder. He didn't look at me. He didn't even glance down. It was like I was part of the furniture, a garden gnome, just invisible. That was the first cut, a small one, a little paper cut of irrelevance. "All right, everyone, quiet down." Mark was on the deck. He had a microphone. Of course he had a microphone. He was wearing a salmon-colored polo shirt that probably cost more than my monthly electric bill. My stomach twisted. Sarah put her hand on my arm. "It's Father's Day," Mark announced, "and I just want to honor the 2 most important dads in my life."
Robert, a big man with a face like a cured ham, beamed. He was already holding his glass ready for the toast. "Robert," Mark said, his voice echoing with fake emotion, "you've been more than a father-in-law. You've been a mentor. You showed me what's possible. You taught me how to build, how to win, and I wanted to get you something, well, appropriate." He pulled out a small velvet box. The crowd oohed. Robert opened it. Inside, nestled on the velvet, was a single gleaming boat key. "It's a 70-foot Azimod, Robert. I'm calling her the Siesta. It's docked in Miami." The yard exploded. Robert pulled Mark into a bear hug. Mark's wife, Chloe, was crying. People were clapping, filming it on their phones. A yacht. My son gave his father-in-law a yacht. I just sat there. I felt my face freeze into a smile. I clapped along, the sound of my palms thin and hollow against the wall of applause.
After the applause died down, Mark held up his hand. He was still smiling. "But I can't forget my other dad." He turned to me. The cameras turned to me. The entire party, silent, turned to me. Sarah squeezed my arm hard. "Dad, come on, stand up." I stood up. My knees cracked. The plastic chair unstuck from my back with a small ripping sound. I felt the heat on my face, a flush of embarrassment that felt prickly and hot. Mark walked off the deck. He swaggered over to me, that big, confident walk he got from his in-laws. He reached into his pocket. "Dad, I know things have been tight for you." His voice was loud, meant for everyone to hear. "And I know you've been focused on other things, like Sarah." Sarah's face went white. Ah, so this was it. "So, I got you something too," Mark said. He pulled out his hand. He wasn't holding a velvet box. He was holding a single, crisp $5 lottery ticket. He tossed it to me, a casual, dismissive flick of the wrist. It fluttered. I had a sudden, sharp gut punch of a memory. Me and him in the same backyard 30 years ago, tossing a baseball. Me teaching him how to catch. "Keep your eye on it, Marky. Watch it all the way into the glove." I watched the ticket. It fluttered down. I had to lurch forward to catch it. My hand was shaking, just a little. A tiny tremor.
"That's about all you can handle, right, Dad?" he said. The laughter was instant. Not from everyone, but from Robert, from Chloe, from the linen shirt crowd. It was a sharp, bright, cruel sound. Mark was laughing the loudest. I looked at the ticket. A quick pick. $5. I looked at my son. His face was flushed with triumph. He looked happy to do this. That's what broke me. Not the ticket, not the laughter, but the joy in his eyes. He wasn't just my son anymore. In that moment, he was their son. I realized the man I'd raised, the boy I'd taught to catch a ball, was gone. That was the cost. He was gone. "Thank you, Mark," I said. My voice was quiet. I had to force my throat to work. "It's very thoughtful." I folded the ticket once, twice. I put it in the pocket of my slacks. The party moved on. The music came back up. Mark was back on the deck accepting congratulations. For what, I wasn't sure. For being rich? For being cruel? "Dad," Sarah whispered, her voice thick. "Let's go. I'll take you home." "Not yet," I said. Let's have a slice of cake. The cake looks nice." I stayed for another 20 minutes. I ate a piece of dried chocolate cake. I smiled at a woman who asked me if I was Mark's dad, the one without the boat. Yes, that's me. The drive home was silent. Sarah gripped the steering wheel. "I'm gonna kill him," she said to the windshield. "No, you're not," I said. "It's just Mark. He's angry." When I got home, I took off my cheap suit. I hung up the slacks. I took the lottery ticket out of the pocket and put it on my dresser next to a picture of Alara. I sat on the edge of my bed. I didn't turn on the light. I just sat there. And for the first time since my wife died, I felt truly, completely, and utterly small.
I had no idea how much worse it was about to get. The week after the party was a new kind of quiet. A cold quiet. The power gap wasn't just about the money. It wasn't the yacht versus the lottery ticket. It was the respect. The basic human respect a son should have for his father. And my son had none for me. I tried to call him on Wednesday. He picked up on the fourth ring. "Yeah? Mark, it's Dad." A sigh. A loud, exaggerated sigh. "Look, Dad, I'm really busy. What's up? I just wanted to check in, see how you were after the party." "Party was great, Dad. Huge success. Robert is thrilled. He's already flying to Miami."
That's great, son. Listen, about what you said. Dad, I can't get into it right now. I'm literally about to step onto a call with the Hong Kong office. Mark, you embarrassed me. You embarrassed your sister. Oh, I embarrassed you. His voice changed. It got that sharp, nasty edge. How about you paying off Sarah's entire college loan and not even telling me? You know I still have over $100,000 for my MBA? You think that's not embarrassing, or did you just not have it for me? Mark, it wasn't like that. It's exactly like that, Dad. You had money, you chose her. Fine, I get it. I'm the bad guy because I actually made something of myself. You're the martyr. Sarah's the princess. Got it. Great family dynamic. Mark, I gotta go. He hung up. I stood in my kitchen, holding a dead phone. The faucet was dripping. Drip, drip, drip. The sound I'd been meaning to fix for a month. I looked up at the ceiling. A faint brownish water stain was spreading from the corner, the leaking roof. That was the I can't win moment. My son was in Miami, dealing with yachts in Hong Kong. I was in a 60-year-old house with a leaking roof, a dripping faucet, and a son who thought I was a joke, a martyr, a liar. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, I couldn't even defend myself. Because he was, in his own twisted way, half right.
I need to back up. I need to explain. You have to understand about Ilara, my wife. Ilara was everything. She was the light, the structure, the point. We were married for 41 years. In 2017, she got sick, ovarian cancer. We had good insurance. What a joke. The good insurance lasted about 6 months. Then came the out-of-network specialists, the experimental treatments, the 24-hour home care. I'd have sold my soul to give her one more comfortable day. I sold the next best thing, our savings, the 401k, the house. I sold it and rented it back. I liquidated everything. Ilara died on a Tuesday in March 2018. 2 months later, Mark graduated with his MBA. I remember standing with him on the lawn, him in his cap and gown. He was vibrant, so full of plans. I was a hollowed-out shell. I was still paying off funeral home bills. "Dad," he said, pulling me aside, "I need to talk to you about the loans. It's about $120,000. If you could just take care of the base, I can handle the interest." I looked at my son, the one I'd taught to ride a bike, the one I'd sat up with him when he had a fever, and I had to tell him, "I can't, Mark. I have nothing." He blinked. "What do you mean you have nothing? The house? The retirement fund?" "It's gone, son. All of it. Your mother's... the bills." Mark's face, it changed. It closed. It went from open and hopeful to cold, hard. "Right," he said. He nodded. "Excuses. I get it. You'd rather hold on to your nothing than help your own son. Got it." He didn't understand. He didn't want to. He saw my grief as an excuse. He saw my poverty, a poverty bought and paid for by my wife's last days, as a choice, as a betrayal of him. He never forgave me for it. He went and got engaged to Chloe. Her father, Robert, handled his loans. And in Mark's eyes, Robert became his father. I just became the guy who let him down.
Now, fast forward.
This year, I finally got back on my feet. My little consulting gig, it paid off. I wasn't rich, not by a long shot, but I had a little nest egg, and I had that promise. Ilara's last few weeks, she worried. Not about herself, about Sarah. "Arthur," she'd whispered, her hand so thin in mine. "You take care of Sarah. That debt, it's a chain. Don't let her wear it. Please, promise me." "I promise, Ilara," I'd said. And I kept my promise. I paid the $85,000. I wired it straight to the loan company. I sent Sarah the paid in full confirmation. It was the best day I'd had in 5 years. I didn't tell Mark. Why would I? It was a private thing, a promise between me and my wife. But Mark saw it as the final, unforgivable sin. I had money. I didn't give it to him. I gave it to her. That's why he gave me the lottery ticket. It wasn't a joke. It was a statement. It was a $5 symbol of what he thought I was worth, an echo of the nothing I'd had to offer him 5 years ago. He thought I was a broke, pathetic old man playing favorites with the pocket change I had left. What he didn't realize, what he couldn't realize, is that I was already free. Paying Sarah's debt, it wasn't for me. It was for Ilara. I was done. I'd kept my promise. I wasn't trying to win Mark's approval anymore. I was just trying to get my roof fixed. That was my hidden advantage. I wasn't playing his game. I wasn't trying to win. I just wanted to be left alone.
For 3 weeks, the lottery ticket sat on my dresser. It sat there, next to Ilara's picture. I'd look at it every morning, a $5 symbol of my son's contempt. I'd pick up my keys, go to my consulting job, come home, make dinner. Drip, drip, drip. I didn't think about it. It was just trash. Then, one Saturday, I was cleaning. The house felt more empty than usual. I was dusting Ilara's picture. I picked up the ticket. I was about to throw it away, but I stopped. I don't know why. I'm not a gambling man. I figured I'd check it, just to, I don't know, close the loop. I went to my old desktop computer, the one that takes 5 minutes to boot up. I pulled up the state lottery website. I pulled up the numbers from that date, June 19th. The numbers on the screen were 08, 15, 22, 30, 41, Powerball 12. I looked at the ticket in my hand. My hands started to shake. 08, 15, 22, 30, 41, Powerball 12. Oh, I laughed. I actually laughed. It was a joke, a misprint. My old eyes. I closed the website. I opened it again. The numbers hadn't changed. My heart? I thought, I'm having a heart attack. This is what it is. I sat down, stood up, sat down again. The ticket, the $5 ticket. It was the single winning ticket for $42 million. I sat there in my dusty office with the leaking roof and the son who hated me. I sat there for a very, very long time. I didn't faint. I didn't scream. I just got very, very calm. I picked up the phone. I didn't call Mark. I didn't call Sarah. I called a lawyer. Not a flashy one, a quiet one. An estate lawyer my old boss had used. "Mr. Peterson," I said, my voice sounding strange to my own ears. "My name is Arthur Vance. I need to set up a trust."
Here's the smart build part. This is the part where you might think I'd buy a billboard outside Mark's office. I didn't. The best revenge is not to play.
My first instruction to the lawyer was simple. Anonymity for as long as we can. I want to claim this through a trust. I want it quiet. He was good. He set up the Ilara's Promise Trust. The first 2 weeks were a blur of paperwork. I took the lump sum, $28.5 million after taxes. The money hit the trust account. I stared at the number on the bank statement. It didn't feel real. What was the first thing I did? Did I buy a Lamborghini? A yacht of my own? No. I called a roofer. Yes, I'd like the best roof you can make. Slate. Yes, and new gutters. Copper. Yes, that sounds lovely. I called a plumber. The drip? Yes, I'd like you to replace all the pipes in the house. Every last one. I didn't move. I didn't buy a new house. I stayed in my house, Ilara's house, and I started to fix it. But that was just for me. The plan, it was for her. I took my time. By August, the roof was done. The house was quiet. No more drip, drip, drip. I got a call from Mark. I'd been dreading it. Dad, his voice was flat. Just checking in, I guess. You've been quiet. I've been busy, Mark. Just projects around the house. Uh-huh. Look, Dad, about Father's Day, Chloe thinks I was a little harsh. Oh. Yeah, so, sorry if you took it the wrong way. That was it. The non-apology. The sorry you felt bad apology. I appreciate the call, Mark, I said. I have to go. The contractors are here. Contractors? What, you finally fixing that old tub? Something like that, I said. Goodbye, Mark. I hung up. That call, it cemented my decision. He wasn't sorry. He was inconvenienced by his wife's conscience. My small victory came a week later. I walked into the community hospital, the one where Ilara spent her last days. The oncology wing was grim. Old TVs, faded paint. I met with the hospital administrator. I said, I am the executor of the Ilara's Promise Trust. We would like to make a donation. That's wonderful, Mr. Vance. We're always grateful for a donation of $15 million to build a new, state-of-the-art oncology and hospice wing. The woman's face, I'll never forget it. On one condition, I said. Anything! It has to be named the Ilara Vance Memorial Wing, and you have to start construction next month.
Now, here's the thing about giving away $15 million. It makes noise. I'd asked for anonymity, but the hospital, they needed a story. They needed to encourage other donors. The administrator begged me, Mr. Vance, this is the largest private donation in this hospital's history. It will save lives, letting people know who it will inspire them. I thought about it. I thought about Ilara's name, not on a gravestone, but on a place of healing. Fine, I said. You can use my name and my wife's. I didn't think it through. I didn't think about the local news. The reckoning wasn't a confrontation. It was a headline. It was a Tuesday. I was drinking my coffee, reading the local paper, and there it was, on the front page. Local widower's quiet $15 million donation transforms city hospital. There was a picture of me, shaking the administrator's hand. I looked old, but I looked okay. The article, it was respectful. It told the story. Arthur Vance, a 68-year-old widower, has honored his late wife Ilara by... And then the line. Mr. Vance, who recently won a $42 million lottery jackpot, said he simply wanted to keep a promise to his wife. I folded the paper. I set it down. I took a sip of coffee. The phone started ringing. It wasn't a friend. It wasn't Sarah. It was Mark. I let it ring once, twice, 3 times. I picked it up. Hello? Dad? His voice was... I'd never heard it before. It was thin, high-pitched. Dad? I just saw the news. Hello, Mark? I said. Calm. My hand was not shaking. 42 million? He whispered. Is that... Dad, is that real? Yes. A long silence. I could hear him breathing, fast. Wait, he said. No. The ticket? Yes, Mark. And I let the silence sit. I let it stretch. I let it fill the space between us. The space he had created. The $5 ticket? Yes, the one you gave me. Oh my God, Dad! The panic was rising in his voice. I was joking! Dad, you know I was joking. It was a joke, a stupid joke. Was it, Mark? Yes, of course. Dad, I'm coming over. We need to talk. This is family money. This changes everything. I looked out my window. The contractors were there. They were framing the new Barden room, the one Ilara and I had dreamed about for 30 years, the one I was finally building. No, Mark, I said. What? No, you don't need to come over. I'm busy. Busy? Busy? Dad, did you hear me? $42 million. Dad, we have to plan. We have to manage this. Robert knows people. He can protect it. Protect it from me. I have a lawyer, Mark. I have a trust. It's being handled. A lawyer? What lawyer? Dad, you can't just 15 million? You just gave it away without talking to me? It was my wife's promise, Mark, not yours. But I'm your son. That's our legacy. That's my... Dad, I'm your son. I know, I said. And my voice was so tired. I have to go, Mark. The contractors are here. Dad, don't you hang up! I hung up. I turned off the ringer.
He showed up. Of course he showed up. 20 minutes later, a sleek black Mercedes screeched to a halt in my driveway. Mark got out. He was still in his work-from-home, whatever it was, an expensive-looking quarter zip. His hair was a mess. His face was blotchy and red. I was in the kitchen. I watched him through the window. He marched up the new bluestone walkway. He banged on the door. Bang, bang, bang. Dad, open this door, Dad. I'm not kidding. I watched. The foreman of the construction crew, a big guy named Vinny, he walked over to Mark. Hey, buddy, Vinny said. Take it easy. You can't... Mr. Vance is busy. You get out of my way. This is my father's house. Yeah? Well, he told me no visitors. So, you're gonna have to leave. I'm not leaving, Dad! He banged again. I just stood there, watching my son. My son, the one with the yacht-owning father-in-law, the one who gave me a $5 pity ticket. He was a child, a screaming, red-faced 2-year-old child, having a tantrum because he couldn't have the toy. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. I just turned away from the window. I went to the back of the house. I went to go see the framing for the new garden room. He yelled for another 10 minutes. Then I guess he gave up. I heard the Mercedes peel out of the driveway. The house was quiet again. Vinny found me in the back. "You okay, Mr. Vance?" "I'm fine, Vinny. Thank you. The framing, it looks beautiful." That was the reckoning. Not a public fight, not a courtroom. Just a man yelling at a locked door. And a father who was finally, too busy building his wife's dream to answer.
The fallout, it was interesting. The consequences weren't just for Mark, they were for his whole world. Robert, the father-in-law, he called me. Arthur, my boy, I saw the news. My God. You sly dog. I didn't know what to say. Thank you, Robert. Listen, about that joke at the party. Mark, he's mortified, Arthur. Just mortified. He kids, they get flashy. I see. Listen, we have to have you and your lovely daughter out on the boat. The siesta. We'll celebrate. My treat. He was sweating. I could hear it, sweating through the phone. The power I never asked for. It had shifted. The man with the yacht was inviting the man with the lottery ticket out. That's very kind, Robert, I said. But I'm so busy. The house, the trust, you understand. Oh, yes, of course, the trust, yes. Well, the offer stands. The offer always stands, Arthur. You call me. He hung up. I actually laughed. A real laugh. The son tried to buy status by giving a yacht. But the father gained status by giving away a hospital wing. Mark's world, the world of Flash, it was paper. It was a performance. My world, the one I was building, it was stone. It was healing. It was real. The full consequence for Mark, it wasn't that he'd lost the money. He'd never had it. It was that he'd been exposed. He'd tried to make me small, and in doing so, he'd shown everyone, his wife, his father-in-law, his entire linen shirt crowd, exactly how small he was. Now, it's a few months later. It's the victory lap, I suppose. The house is finished. It's not a mansion. It's the same 3-bedroom ranch on Maple Street, but it's perfect. The slate roof is beautiful. The paint is a soft, warm gray. The pipes don't leak. The floors don't creak. And the garden room. Ilara's garden room. It's where I am right now. It's all glass. It's filled with her favorite plants. Orchids, ferns, a little lemon tree. It's raining outside. I love the sound. Just a soft tapping on the glass roof. No drip, 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 Just peace. The Alara Vance Memorial Wing opened last month. Sarah was there. She held my hand the whole time. The mayor gave a speech. I had to say something. I talked about Alara. I talked about her laugh. I talked about the nurses who had been so kind. After, Sarah and I, we sat in the new waiting room. It's nice. It's not grim. There's light. She would be so proud of you, Dad, Sarah said. She was crying. She'd be proud of us, I said. My unexpected support, it's Sarah. Her love, it's the real jackpot. It's my old friends, the ones who knew me and Alara before. They come over, we sit in the garden room, we drink coffee. We don't talk about the money. We talk about Alara. We talk about the old days. Mark? He tried to apologize. One last time. He sent a letter, a typed letter from a lawyer. It was an inquiry into the structure of the trust, an inquiry into my mental state at the time of the donation. It was a threat, a sad, pathetic legal threat. My lawyer, the quiet one, he handled it.
I got one last call from Mark. Dad, I didn't mean the letter. That was Robert's idea. Okay, Mark. Dad, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry for everything. I didn't know. Yes, you did, Mark. You didn't care. I have to go, Mark. I hope you and your family, I hope you're well. I hung up. Was it hard? Yes. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Hanging up on my son. Was it worth it? I'm sitting here in my wife's garden. I'm listening to the rain. I'm at peace. My son, he valued me at $5. But my wife, my Alara, she made me promise. And I am a man who keeps his promises.
If you enjoyed this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.